Hey guys, good morning. It's Saturday, December 7th, and yesterday was the first day we had the grade tab added to the cheat sheet. And so the favorite part of my day is the research, where I get to go back and see what worked, how could we have viewed this sheet or viewed these stats to come out better. And so let me blow this up so hopefully you guys can see it. I guess that doesn't get any bigger. So I went back and looked at everything, and if you've seen our video or the cheat sheet, then you've seen this grade tab. This looks kind of sloppy, but I wanted to screenshot it so I can draw on it. So the first thing I'm going to recommend that we do going forward, and this is kind of how I found it last night, is sorting over here by the current projection tab. So you can see my number 1 up here. So the projections of the values, so we're going to sort by value and go high to low. Now, out of these values, about half of them hit, half of them don't. So one of the things we want to do is when these projections are released, weeding out which ones are good and which ones are bad. So that's how I approached it today when I was looking back at the yesterday sheet to see what worked and what did not work. So the first thing I'm going to do is sort by this value over here for the current projections, not the new. The new we're going to get to later. And then I'm going to look at this total edge, and I wanted to see how these players did. So when we talked yesterday, I had mentioned if we look at minutes over 30, which is this is the projected minutes column. Sorry, I just woke up a little bit ago. And then looking at total edge over 100, those plays did really well. So I was just going down without looking at the minutes tab. And so Ish was a chalk play. This little check over here, this means that they were 5x or higher or smashed. And then this little line means that they missed. So out of the top 4 or 5, Jermichael Green, I don't think he played. I found nothing on him today. So Ish was a hit, and he was over 100 and over 30 minutes. Larry Nance was a big value play that jumped in there late when Kevin Love got ruled out. His total edge was below 100 at 60.5, so that's really bad, and he missed. And then Wagner, he was over 100, 108.8, over 30 minutes. He hit value. Green didn't play. Clarkson was another value play, but he was only projected at 24 minutes, and he was at 57.6, so well below 100, and he missed. And then we have Chris Paul, 33 minutes, 148.1. He hit. Butler, he smashed. He was at 156. Beal was right on the number of 5x, but he was slightly below 100. So I'm going to monitor this and see if maybe we should drop down below 100 to 90 or 95. And then Dennis Schroeder, 122.9 over 30 minutes. He hit. Tristan Thompson, he was below 100. He hit. And then Hawk was below 100, missed. Baisley, below 100, missed. Only projected at 23 minutes. And so you can kind of go down the list and see the ones over 100 did well in the top half. And then the ones that had this edge way below, most of them missed. So that's kind of a good indication if we're going to build a core. And then these X's over here that you can see, these are the guys that were over 100 and then they fell below value. So you can see that there's really only 4 of them that was over 130 minutes or around 30 minutes that missed. And that was Bledsoe, Lopez, Giannis, and Myers Leonard. And then you go down here, you've got Lillard, 107.8, 37. He hit. Darius below. So what I would recommend, like if we built a core to build around, let's say you're doing one lineup for cash, GPP, or whatnot, let's sort by these projections, and then let's go down and let's look for players over 30 minutes and total edge over 100. So if we would have done that and we stick to that, last night that would have gave us Ish Smith, who smashed. We would have skipped Larry Nance because he was below 100. Wagner, we would have put in there. He's at 31 and 108. He hit value. Clarkson, we would have passed 24 minutes and below 100. We'd have kicked him out. Chris Paul and Jimmy Butler, both well over 30 minutes, and 150 is a solid number, and they're priced right, so it's not giving us all studs. We'd have put them in. Beal, technically, we would have skipped. At 8,600, I don't mind that because we've already got one 8K and a 6K guy in here. So you could have used him. I'm not going to argue either way with you. 95.5 is close enough. You could have put him in the player pool. 39 minutes. Yeah, okay, we can roll with that. Either way, he was right at the number, or he exceeded value, so you're okay. And then Dennis Schroeder, 57. He's easy to fit in lineups. 122, 34 minutes. He hit. Tristan Thompson, we would have skipped because he's below 100, so we would have X'd him out. But he did hit value, so if you said, hey, I got an extra $6,000, I want to put him in there, I really like him, okay, that's fine. And then Hawk, we would have kicked out because he's below 100. He missed. Baisley, he's below 100 and below 30 minutes, so we could have kicked him out. And then Bledsoe, you could have gone either way on this one. 161's a great number. However, it's against Paul George, Kawhi, and who knows how that game's going to turn out. But technically, he's below 30 minutes, so if you stuck to the system, you would have kicked him out. But then you also would have had to kick Beal out up here. So you'd have got one, you'd have missed one. And then going down here in the list, then down here it kind of opens up a little bit more. But if we would have done that with a core, that would have gave us Ish, Wagner, Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler, and Dennis Schroeder. And those guys were priced right. So 57, 81, 63, 5,036. So that could have been a solid 5. And maybe you just take the top 2, top 3, top 4, and you build around them. So that's one thing I want to do is figure out which one of these value plays, so-called, are going to smash and which ones are not. So yesterday, this would have worked, taking total edge over 100 and minutes over 30. I went the player pool route. I did not go this route. But if you would have done that with the value plays and built around it with current projections, you would have done pretty decent. So anyways, that's kind of what I have for today. I'm getting ready to do the sheets for Saturday so we can take a look at it. And then down here, I'm going to touch on this real quick. So some of the guys, it seems like a lot of the guys that missed were in this blue, projected below 30 minutes. So Kobe White, I think he was right on that cusp, but he was only at 27 minutes. Garland missed. He was below 100 and below 30 minutes. Lopez was only 28 minutes. And I had some of him last night. The tricky thing is he had a great number here, but when I went back and looked at his stats, like, he rarely ever blows up. He blew up once, like 8 games ago, and everything else was just like 4x, 5x, 4x, 5x. Giannis, he can go either way, just depending on the game flow. Anthony Davis smashed, and so that was kind of neat to see. Out of all the studs in here, the high-priced guy, like if you're going to pay up for someone, you could go down here and say, okay, who is this? Okay, Giannis, he's got a 146 with 34 minutes. All right, maybe if you're going to pay up for a guy, you go that route. I'm sorry, not Giannis, Anthony Davis. Actually, he was only 9,600, so that's even better. And then go down here, Myers Leonard, he missed. He was only projected at 20 minutes, so these guys that are 25 minutes and less have a lot of variance. Some hit, some don't. Some don't even get that many minutes. Lillard, we could have went to him. 8,500 is a little bit more expensive, but yeah, he hit over 100 and over 30 minutes. Garland, 28, we hit him. Shy, right at 136 minutes. He beat value. Bam, this is one that I liked that kept jumping out at me, but I didn't have as much exposure to him as I wanted. He was at 166.5, which is solid, and 33 minutes, and he ended up smashing value last night. So he was another good one to build. Brogdon, he just missed. I think he was around 4 to 4.3x. But again, he's below 100, so we would have kicked him out or had, I'd say, 10% or less exposure to him in GPPs. Looney, he had a good number, but he was only projected at 17 minutes, and I don't think he did really anything last night. Chris Middleton, 120 and 31 minutes. He hit value. He was solid. Sexton, projected at 32. This guy's taking a lot of shots. He's sneaky. I like him. But his number here was only 59.2, so it was well below 100, so you could have kicked him out. And then DeAndre Jordan, who is really dependent upon Jared Allen, which Jared Allen had a decent game. I think he was right at the 5X. He had a 150 number, but only 20 minutes, but he ended up smashing, so he's kind of a sneaky pivot that gets in there. So today, what I'm going to do personally for mine is I'm going to use these projections over here, and then I'm going to use these I'm going to sort by value, and then I'm going to go down this total edge and look at the players that are over 30 minutes, total edge over 100, and see if I can put together a core group of players to build around. So sorry this is a little sloppy, but I wanted to kind of break it down as opposed to writing this out and show everybody what I was looking at. And so it did pretty good last night, especially in the top 10, weeding out the players that missed versus the players that hit. So let's look at that today and keep going forward. Thanks, guys.